The award-winning actor having a kid was trending online. Everyone was digging into who his wife was. The woman in those blurry photos looked just like me. My phone was blowing up with messages. Friends kept asking me when I got together with the actor. But I don't even know him. I was getting cyberbullied for no reason. It started when the actor took his kid to the hospital, and someone snapped a pic. He admitted he was secretly married but said his wife was a regular person and didn't want people disturbing her. Online, there was this account claiming to have the real scoop. They posted a photo of the actor and this girl having a moment in a parking lot. People went nuts, trying to figure out who she was. Fans were calling her sister-in-law, and haters were saying she wasn't worthy. My info got flipped upside down. Even my Facebook was under siege. I looked at those photos and paused. The woman did look like me. Honestly, exactly like me. But I've never been to those places. My best friend was constantly messaging me. Cindy? When did you have a kid? Cindy, so when you said you were sneaking around, you weren't kidding? Cindy, come on. You think I'm just gonna let that slide without a fight? Cindy, I want 100 signed photos of the actor, or else we're not done here. I told her I didn't know him a million times, but she didn't believe me. I sighed and opened the group chat. Coworkers said reporters had swarmed outside the office, and I should stay home. Of course, they had to gossip. They asked when I got with the actor and if his body was as good as in the magazines. How would I know? When I asked my stingy boss for time off, her attitude suddenly changed. Boss, don't forget us when you hit it big. I stayed home for a few days, scared to go online. But I had to pick up a package, or it would be sent back. I bundled myself up and picked nighttime to go. The pickup spot was by the community entrance. I walked over, all cautious. Hey, it's winter, and wearing layers means even my mom wouldn't recognize me. Suddenly, there was some noise around me. Before I could react, a bunch of reporters jumped out from the bushes. Are you Simon Green's secret wife? Can I ask you some questions? I'm not. I tried to walk away, but they surrounded me. Not sure how they even recognized me. A barrage of questions came. Are you having marital problems with the actor, and why live here? What do you think of those rumors about him and that young starlet? They said the actor is raising the kid alone. Are you divorced? Flashbulbs were popping. I shielded my eyes, stuck with nowhere to go. Just then, a loud screech of brakes cut through the chaos. A tall figure pushed through the crowd and grabbed me. A faint, cold scent washed over me. Where have you been? Do you know how long I've been looking for you? His voice was angry but full of worry. I was bewildered. Simon Green locked eyes with me and held me close. Seeing a star in real life froze me. His features are unreal, even up close. The reporters gasped and started a new round of questions. Probably because I seemed ordinary, their questions had a hint of disdain. Simon shielded me, coldly saying, I've asked everyone to stop focusing on my wife, so watch your words. Everyone fell silent. It was their first time seeing him so furious. They cleared a path for us. Really, they're not scared of Simon's fame, but of the power of the Greens. Inside the car, Simon radiated tension. He glanced at me coolly. After running for so long, don't you have anything to say? I don't know you. He sneered. 7 months ago, when you left a kid at my door, you didn't say we were strangers? I was at my wit's end. 7 months ago, I had just graduated from college. I really don't know you. I'm Lily. I've never had a kid, maybe you've got the wrong person? I nervously explained, and he chuckled dryly. Playing amnesia? Isn't that old? No, seriously. Quit the act. The whole internet thinks we're secretly married, so just come get the marriage license. We'll settle the rest later. I was gobsmacked. Sure, you're handsome, but you've seriously got the wrong woman. Ignoring my protests, he drove us to a villa area. I didn't want to get out, but he half dragged me inside. Please, don't do this. Asking me for favors? When I begged you not to leave, what did you do? You're a lying wife deserter who needs a lesson. Though his words were harsh, his grip was gentle, afraid to hurt me. Looks like he really cares about the kid's mom. But I'm not her. Inside, a bunch of people were in the living room. It seemed like a family meeting. Simon pulled me close, his head held high. I found her, and we're getting the license tomorrow. A woman with a dignified look, holding a baby, eyed us up. Must be Simon's mom. Humph, finally found her after almost a year, huh? Almost made you a single dad. Learn a lesson this time? Adding on, Simon's dad, right, you couldn't even keep track of your honey. How are you managing anything? Simon kept quiet, biting his lip. I stiffly tried to pull my hand away, but he shot me a warning look. Help. What is this surreal world? On the side sat a couple, probably relatives. They were staring at me while I stared back. We both seemed familiar, but no one spoke. I gathered my courage. Sir, ma'am, actually, I don't. Surely, enough games. Simon hushed me and said hello to the elders, insisting we go upstairs for a talk. His look felt off, and I resisted going up. I'm not Shirley. Still pretending? Simon raised an eyebrow, suddenly grabbing the back of my neck, whispering low. Ready for role play again? My eyes widened, and he laughed quietly. We'll play later, listen up, we need to talk. Simon ran a hand through my hair, lowering his head for a kiss. I turned my head in fear. He stared at the spot behind my ear and suddenly froze. Then came the sound of fast footsteps from the doorway. Someone rushed in, dragging a suitcase, looking exhausted. I saw a familiar figure and felt a wave of relief. It was like seeing a savior. Savior Ryan saw our intimate gesture and looked somber. Lily, it really is you. Did you break up with me just to marry my uncle? The room fell silent, the weight of the revelation sinking in. Simon was stunned. I quickly used the opportunity to push him away. No, I don't know him. You two already have a child. Ryan's eyes reddened, his voice choking. Ignoring the judgmental stares of our elders, Ryan dragged me out to the balcony for a fight. He glared at me, urgency in his voice. What's the real deal with you and my uncle? Who's your guy? There's nothing between us. Liar. Ryan gritted his teeth, as if struck by an idea, and clamped his hands on my shoulders. Lily, be honest, is the kid mine? What is he thinking? I only met him a year ago. How could there even be a child? What are you talking about? A deep voice broke through, full of irritation. Simon walked over, glaring at Ryan. Quit dreaming. The kid is mine, DNA test has already been done. Ryan wilted on seeing him angry. Simon looked me over, incredulously asking, is your name really Lily? Yeah, I told you that from the start. Simon leaned closer, raising a hand to touch me, only for Ryan to intercept. Uncle, what are you doing? She's with me. Aren't you two broken up? Even if we are, she's still my ex. Hands off. Simon rolled his eyes at Ryan, annoyed. Got it. I'm just confused why she looks exactly like my fiancé. He shrugged off Ryan's grip. Miss Lily, excuse me. He pushed aside my hair by my left ear, then backed away, disappointed. Sorry, my mistake. My fiancée has a beauty mark behind her ear. No problem. Simon sighed, though still not giving up, he asked. Are you related to Shirley? How come she never mentioned you? I don't know who that is. I grew up all alone. Simon nodded, even more disappointed now. He'd lost the trail of his fiancée. Defeated, Simon left and called his assistant, telling them to keep searching. When the drama ended, I felt a wave of relief. Turning back, Ryan was still glaring at me. "What are you looking at?" I stood up straight. "You bad woman." He pouted bitterly. I didn't argue. After all, I had been the one to initiate the breakup upon graduation. Ryan was going abroad for study, and I wasn't into long distance. Even though he promised to keep in touch and visit on breaks. It didn't sit well with me. I craved some sense of security. We argued so much, always ending on a sour note. I said a lot of hurtful things and blocked him. In anger, he just left for overseas, ending things between us. Late at night, as I was about to go home, Ryan stopped me. "The media has blown everything up. Reporters and trolls are all over your place. You can't go back now. Can't your uncle put out a statement?" Ryan hesitated. He said he wants to use this scandal to draw out his fiancée. Now the whole country knows what she looks like. Finding her should be easier. I felt stuck. I wasn't prepared to stay. It didn't feel right. Ryan noticed my discomfort and sighed. "Why the reluctance? It's not like I forced you to stay. Just stay here until it blows over. We'll get you home eventually." "Okay." I had no choice but to stay. Ryan's mom arranged a room for me right across from his. She said it was the only guest room available, asking me to make do. I pushed open the door. A room bigger than my living room awaited, making me giddy with excitement. But knowing Ryan was just across the way made it awkward. I arranged to work from home with my company. I mostly stayed in my room during the day, only seeing Ryan at meals. Things remained peaceful for a few days. My friend Sophia knew the context and kept encouraging me to get Simon's autograph. That afternoon, I was planning to approach him with a photo. Just as I opened my room door, Ryan was about to knock. His brow was furrowed, eyes serious. "What were you doing in my uncle's room just now?" "I wasn't there." He glanced at the photo in my hand, his expression darkening. "You have his picture? Do you like him? Were you dating me just to get close to him?" Ryan was panicking. Whenever he was emotional, his eyes would well up, as if about to cry. I panicked, too. What did he take me for? "No way, I didn't even know Simon was your uncle." "You never mentioned it." Ryan thought back and gradually nodded in realization. "Wait, if you didn't go see him, then who was?" He went silent, as we both shared a look, a realization dawning. In a flash, we raced upstairs, competing to get there first. "Could you blame us for being curious? I just found out there's someone who looks exactly like me." Simon's study was closed tight. Two people were already eavesdropping outside Simon's parents. Ryan and I joined the scene, nervously smiling. They raised their brows, stepping aside for us. Now 4 of us huddled, listening outside the door. Inside, you could faintly hear an argument. "You vanished without a word for so long. Don't I deserve an explanation?" A clear female voice shouted, angry. "Explain what?" "I told you, I don't want marriage. If you hadn't messed with the birth control, I wouldn't be pregnant." "I didn't mess with anything." "Liar. I don't believe you. You faked your dad's illness to rush me into marriage." Simon went speechless. Ryan and I quickly glanced at Simon's dad. He gave a guilty smile, pretending nothing happened. Shirley seemed to have caught him red-handed, her voice growing louder. "Feeling guilty, huh? I only came back because I didn't want some innocent girl mobbed by your fans. What's wrong with wanting to marry you? You're always running around, even busier than me, which makes me feel insecure. Does marriage really solve insecurity? You can still get divorced, and someday, some celebrity might become Zoe's stepmom." "Shirley." Simon was angry. "I never thought about divorcing you." Shirley paused for a few seconds, even angrier. "Never thought about it, huh? Then why are you yelling so loud? I wasn't loud. Yes, you were. Me. Simon was utterly exasperated. Shirley started bringing up the kid, like she wanted to dump her on Simon and distance herself from him. She's an online scriptwriter, always searching for inspiration and hates staying in one place too long. She loves freedom and doesn't want to be tied down by marriage. Simon, of course, didn't agree. If he got dumped young and ended up a single dad, wouldn't people laugh at him? The argument got heated, chairs moving like they were about to fight. I frowned, wanting to step in, but Ryan stopped me. Wait, the fun isn't over yet. Relax, Simon's family rule is not to hit women. Ryan looked more gossipy than me. He was always scared of this uncle but was thrilled to catch Simon's gossip like a cat stealing fish. Suddenly, it got quiet inside. We four exchanged looks, pressing our ears to the door. There was maybe some sobbing, but it was faint. Did she cry? After a while, the argument ended, and they were coming to open the door. Simon's parents quickly ducked back into the room. Ryan and I were slower, just turning when the door opened. Simon and Shirley's lips were very red, even cut. You could tell there was a fierce verbal exchange. Staring at the same face made Shirley and me pause. Simon frowned. What are you two doing? I quickly nudged Ryan. He said there was gossip, insisted on dragging me along. Ryan's eyes widened, looking at me in disbelief. Sorry, ex-boyfriend. Simon glared at him, scoffing. Like he already planned how to deal with him. Ryan panicked. No, uncle, I was just passing by. I didn't hear anything, really. The more he explained, the more tangled it got, and Simon's face kept darkening. I have work, so I'm leaving. I turned to slip away, but Ryan grabbed me. He pulled me into his arms, gritting his teeth. Running? Who was rushing up the stairs more urgently than me just now? Finished the gossip, right? Standing around waiting to get stabbed like a hog? In our awkward atmosphere, Shirley came up. Hello, I'm Shirley, have we met before? I shook my head. No one I remember looking just like me. Shirley frowned, thinking for a moment. Miss Lily, can we chat? Sure. Shirley took me to the garden downstairs. Ryan stared at me longingly, dragged into the study by Simon, looking dead inside. Shirley and I talked about our experiences and found neither of us had memories of our parents. Just to be sure, we made a genetic test. After an agonizing wait, when we got the report, we were both nervous. DNA test result, probability of parentage greater than 99. 99%. We really are sisters. Who'd have thought a rumor would lead me to a close relative? After the shock, Shirley hugged me tightly, eyes red. I thought I was really alone. So glad I finally have family. Hearing her cry, I couldn't help but cry too. We bawled in the study, recounting childhood stories. Shirley grew up in an orphanage, later adopted by business people. I was trafficked since I remember, because I'm a girl, they didn't sell me for much. They ended up selling me to a bachelor to be a child bride. When I was 12, I ran away. I was too naive to ask for police help, just wandered the streets alone. Then an old woman collecting junk took me in kindly. I wanted to study hard and take care of her when I grew up. But when I was a senior, she passed away. I was alone again. After I finished, Shirley was sobbing uncontrollably. Our parents were probably gone or abandoned us. So we stumbled around for over 20 years before reuniting by chance. The door suddenly opened, and Simon comforted her empathetically. Ryan stood in the doorway, who knows how long he'd been listening, voice choked. Why didn't you ever tell me this? I pressed my lips, swallowing the bitterness. I never dared to share these things. My life is filled with poverty and loneliness. I hate pity from others. Maybe this way, it preserves my sensitive and timid dignity. Shirley held my hand, soothing. Lily, from now on I'm here with you, we're never alone. Ryan took a deep breath, stepping forward. And me. Yeah. I smiled as tears fell, staining my clothes with a round dot. Like it put a period on my barren early life. Since we didn't know who was born first, we didn't label each other as older and younger, just called each other by name. Shirley and Simon argued for days, then made up somehow. Who knows what persuaded her? Spending time with Shirley, I found she's adorable, quirky. After dinner, the family sat on the couch watching TV. Even with Simon's parents present, Shirley didn't hold back. On TV, Simon's drama aired, the female lead acting coquettishly. Shirley imitated her tone. I just see you as a brother, and you treat me like this? With that, she pushed his hand away. Simon smiled helplessly, peeled an orange for her, and stuffed a piece in her mouth. So sour. She frowned, wanting to spit out seeds, but the trash can was far. Simon instinctively reached out. Thanks, big brother. You're so good to me. Won't your wife get mad if she finds out? Shirley's fake, overly sweet tone made the corner of Simon's mouth twitch. But he still played along, lowering his voice. So keep it down, don't let her catch on. Ryan and I exchanged a look. I finally got why Simon didn't believe I was Lily right off the bat. Shirley was such a drama queen, he was used to that kind of act. Watching them with envy all over his face, Ryan's eyes practically said it all. Simon shot him a glance, raising an eyebrow. What are you looking at? Don't you got a honey of your own? Ryan turned his gaze my way. I was busy looking at my phone, pretending to ignore whatever was going on. Stop faking it, your phone's not even unlocked. Hurriedly, I opened my phone, pretending to check work stuff. Ryan stared at me, his voice taking on a teasing tone. When are you gonna take me off the blacklist? I dodged the question. It's been nearly a month. Aren't you going to study in the UK yet? None of your business. Then stay out of my blacklist business. Humph, fine. I don't care if you never take me off. He turned away all proud, and I went back to scrolling through group chats. Simon's dad looked at the TV, watching the love-struck second male lead and sighed, full of meaning. Geez, why's everyone so lovesick? Simon's mom gave him a sidelong glance, so he quickly turned servile, offering her some tea. Try this new Iron Goddess tea. It's good, right? Not sure what trick Simon pulled, but he ended up snagging Shirley. Once they officially tied the knot, Simon couldn't wait to spread the news and explained about Shirley's twin sister thing. I could finally go home, back to the way things were before. As I was heading out, Ryan pulled at my bag, not wanting to let go. Lily, take me off the blacklist, or you can't leave. Let go. Didn't you tweet that you couldn't care less about me? So what's with the clinginess now? I changed my mind, can't I? A wise man doesn't backtrack, you know that? I don't care. Simon and Shirley stood out on the balcony, munching on sunflower seeds, clearly entertained. I spotted an opportunity and pointed up. Hey, why were you guys fighting up there? Ryan's nosy nature made him turn. In that moment of distraction, I pushed him aside and ran to the car. Lily. You liar. After working for a week, Shirley often came by to hang out or grab a meal with me. 20 years apart didn't seem to put a dent in our bond. But she kept casually bringing up Ryan's latest antics, which I made sure to steer clear of. She shoved some tripe onto my plate, diving back into the topic. So about Ryan. Hey, Shirley, didn't you not want to marry Simon? What changed your mind? He didn't convince me, he slept me into it. I was stunned, realizing I wasn't even ready for kindergarten-level stuff. Shirley chuckled, eyes glinting with mischief. He's a tricky guy, always manages to snag me. Even if I don't owe him, I should give the kid a name, so we got hitched. Meanwhile, he's got a ton of shoots, so we'll hardly see him. I can still live it up all by myself. That figures. They're both equally sly. Shirley continued prying into my stuff. What's the deal between you and Ryan? Ever since you left, he's been all mopey. You sure there's nothing going on? Check please. Lily, you're really good at pretending. One night after working late, I swung by a convenience store to grab some snacks, just to fill the void. On my way back, something felt off. Almost home, a group of high school girls blocked me in an alley. They checked me out, dressed like they were troublemakers from school. Are you Shirley? The one who seduced our brother and forced him into marriage? I knew it, you look all innocent, but who knows how twisted you really are inside. You probably just see our brother as a cash cow, ugly woman. You're no match for him. The rabid fans started throwing accusations. I frowned. I'm not Shirley, and she's not like what you're thinking. The girls exchanged looks, and the lead one sneered. Doesn't matter who you are, we're here to expose you for the fox you are. With that, they took out weapons. 2 had spray bottles filled with who knows what. The rest picked up stones, throwing them my way. 1 even had their phone out, probably wanting to capture any scandalous reaction for the internet. So childish. Alone and outnumbered, I couldn't take them head on. A rock flew my way, and I dodged. Dodging? Didn't think of the consequences when you seduced our brother, did ya? Fox spirit. In the old days, you'd be dunked in a pig cage for this. Think of our generosity. Flashes kept going off, documenting my stumbling panic. 1 girl aimed the spray bottle at me. Suddenly, someone rushed in, shielding me. Don't be scared, Lily. The high school gaped at him. Who's the daredevil? Probably her side piece. I knew she couldn't be loyal. How disgusting, doing this to our brother. I'll expose you both. Ryan tried reasoning with them, but caught a face full of spray instead. It turned out to be pepper spray. Blinded, he sneezed and heaved. I tried pulling him away, but he wouldn't budge. What are you doing, you want to get beat? No, we didn't do anything wrong, so why should we run? I paused, startled. I'm not leaving. I'm teaching them a lesson. He suddenly sprang into action. As rocks flew, he shielded me quickly, almost slipping in his hurry. Ryan put on a brave face, dealing with them while calling the cops. Those high school didn't look scared at all, they even threatened me when the police showed up. After the police took our statements, those girls just stared at us. Ryan had tears and snot everywhere from the pepper spray, his nose was red as can be. I was worried this could blow up and affect Simon, so I told Ryan to just let it go. Ryan smiled, I know what I'm doing. He called a lawyer and insisted on suing them. The police called their parents. That's when the girls started to panic. During mediation, Ryan was cold and unyielding. The parents were all talking over each other, turning the place into a market. My kid's not even an adult yet, what does she know? You're taking this up with a child? Exactly, they were just messing around, not doing it on purpose. And you're all fine, aren't you? If this affects my baby's college entrance exams, we'll see if you can handle the consequences. Ryan gave a derisive laugh. You know what kind of parents raise children like that? If they can't discipline them, let society do it. I won't back down on my rights. You keep this up, and they won't even make it to college, let alone that exam. Ryan gestured, and Simon's lawyer pulled out a prepared legal notice. The mom's expressions changed, they wanted to lash out, but the security guard stopped them. You know who my husband is, right? Mess with my daughter, and your firm might just go under. Ryan looked up casually, oh, and do you know who my grandfather is? Everyone was stunned, and the lawyer provided the answer. The largest shareholder of S Group, a renowned former financial tycoon, Simon's grandfather, married to the sole survivor of a war hero, a top medical professional who once saved a prime minister's child. The moms went silent. It's the Greens. Who would dare mess with them? Ryan tapped the table and gave a chilling smile. The girls burst into tears from fear. I tugged at his sleeve, and he took my hand reassuringly. Warmth radiated from him, making me feel at ease. "Don't worry, I'm here," he said softly. His words felt like a stone dropping into the pool of my heart, creating ripples. Memories began to surface. When we were dating, he'd usually let me tease him, but he always made sure to protect me when it counted. If I was wronged, he'd make sure justice was served, often making the other party pay double. His gentle yet prickly nature made him irresistible. In the end, Ryan didn't want compensation. He just wanted them to apologize. He even called Simon to explain the situation. Simon agreed and planned to issue a statement to warn other overzealous fans. Though reluctant, the girls were spooked enough by the lawyer to apologize. And that was the end of it. As we left the police station, Ryan offered to drive me home. I didn't say a word the whole ride. At my place, he tugged on my sleeve. "Why won't you talk to me? Did I do something wrong?" "No, you did great. Better than I could have. I'm usually like a turtle, hiding in my shell." "Then how about we get back together? I'll take care of you, always, okay?" I looked at him with his swollen eyes and constant sneezes. It was kind of funny. Ryan thought my silence meant I was rejecting him, so he sulked. "Lily, I'd even give my life for you. Can't you wait for a couple of years? I'll work hard to finish my credits early and come back, isn't that good enough? Say something. You're so heartless, just tossing me aside like that." Tears ran down his cheeks, unsure if from the pepper spray or from me. Honestly, I've always liked Ryan. He's the first person who would always take my side. Maybe all I needed was a chance, a moment to trust completely. That moment was now. I stepped closer. "Lower your head." Ryan blinked, obediently leaning down, thinking I might kiss him. He even puckered his lips. I wiped his tears with a tissue. "All right, finish your credits soon and come back. Don't leave me waiting too long." He nodded, overwhelmed with joy, and hugged me tight, tears flowing again. "Lily, kiss me." "No way, you're covered in pepper spray." "And whose fault is that? You have no heart." Ryan glanced around and whispered, "Aren't you going to invite me in? It's late. You just got off work, don't you want a bowl of noodles before bed? I've got a new recipe for stir-fried noodles." "Fine." After the noodles, he claimed he needed exercise to digest. The cunning man. Ryan wouldn't leave my place, trying every trick to stay. The next evening, Ryan's mom showed up. I thought she came to hurry him off to school. Instead, she had their butler roll in his suitcase. "Lily, I'm leaving my son in your hands." "Huh? Ryan's easy to care for. He'll eat anything and do whatever you tell him. If he doesn't listen, knock some sense into him, okay? Shouldn't be too much trouble." She smiled warmly, leaving me no room for refusal. I turned to pour her tea, missing the okay signal she gave Ryan. Ryan had already been on leave for a while and would have to head back to the UK soon. But he couldn't bear to part with me, wanting to be glued to my side all the time. But alas, on Wednesday, Shirley showed up. "I can't stand that jerk anymore. I want a divorce." "What happened?" I hushed her while sending Ryan, looking disheveled, back to the bedroom. Ryan pouted unhappily, wearing a bunny headband, and obediently went in. Shirley took a big gulp of lemon water and launched into a long rant. "Simon, that old fox, told me before getting married that he wouldn't interfere with my work. Then he went to film a movie, and the director insisted I be the scriptwriter on set. I thought it was a sweet deal, with high pay and everything. Turned out Simon was behind it all. Now I have to see him every day, and he's all over me calling me baby this and baby that. I can't even focus on writing new scripts, it's driving me nuts." I just listened quietly, feeling like I was witnessing a big show off. "So, what's your plan?" Shirley snorted. I'm taking leave, told him I need some time to cool off. This cooling off period might just drive Simon mad. Once you've lost someone, you don't let go so easily. Ryan came out in home clothes and greeted Shirley. Shirley glared at him. I'm staying here for a few days. Don't even think about tattling to Simon. Ryan was a bit reluctant. How many days exactly, Aunt? Not sure, could be a week, maybe a month. Ryan looked downcast and nudged me. My rented place is tiny, with just one bedroom. If Shirley stayed in my room, Ryan would have to crash on the couch. Looking at Shirley still fuming, I could only manage an awkward smile. That afternoon, Ryan was cooking in the kitchen, constantly pulling me in to help. One minute I'm fetching plates, the next I'm washing veggies. He would sneak a kiss here and there, begging me to send Shirley off to a hotel. Shirley, lounging on the couch, missing her gossip buddies, shouted. Ryan, what's with you being such a wife guy? Can't you be a bit more independent? Can't live without Lily, huh? Through gritted teeth, he answered, I can't. Shirley was momentarily speechless, giving him a you win look. I thought they'd continue bickering. But by the end of the meal, Shirley seemed in better spirits. She polished off 2 bowls of rice, nodding happily. Wife guy, even though you're kind of annoying, you do cook pretty well. Ryan quietly picked up his phone to message Simon. Shirley squinted at him. You're leaving in a few days, with Lily alone back home. What are you gonna do about all those guys lined up for her attention? Ryan paused and put his phone down. Aunt, any wise advice? Shirley smiled mysteriously. When I finished doing the dishes, I saw Ryan and Shirley getting along peacefully, and I was a bit surprised. After a few days, Ryan left, reluctantly flying away. My phone got flooded with messages, sweet little nothings from him every day. Like having a virtual pet. Shirley didn't stay much longer. Simon eventually caught up with her. They argued in my living room, so I grabbed a pack of sunflower seeds to watch. Simon tried to placate her, while Shirley put on her drama queen act. Oh, you're so kind, coming all this way to persuade me. Is your attention just for me, or do all the girls get this treatment? Ask yourself, besides you, who else do I have? If you keep this attitude, better not to humor me at all. Makes me look unreasonable. Can you at least argue properly? What, Simon, are you getting annoyed with me now? As if I'd get annoyed at you. But you are. Simon rubbed his forehead, then just picked her up. I think you need to be taught a lesson. He couldn't be bothered to keep humoring her, and just carried Shirley home, unwilling and all. The next day, she didn't reply to my message. Guess she got quite the talking to. On the net, Simon and Shirley had shipper fans, constantly updating. People had even dug into Shirley's background. Turns out she's from an Ivy League level art school, her reviews liked by famous directors. She's been a part of some blockbuster dramas, but under a pen name, so no one recognized it. Yet another day accidentally bumping into the honey of an award-winning actor. Oh my, she's so pale, and no makeup. Simon, you lucky dog. Everyone from fans to followers chimed in. But the picture was of me. I rushed to work, caught in a taxi photo. Before Simon clarified, an unfamiliar ID swooped into the mix. This is my honey, hands off. He replied, all huffy, to anyone who tried. I took a quick look. IP address traced back to the USA. Wow, it was still early there. Doesn't Ryan ever sleep? He quickly changed his ID to, Lily is my honey. His avatar became a photo of us together. With tireless responses, Simon's fans started digging up info on him. Online, people couldn't stop remarking. Isn't this Simon's nephew? He's cute. Am I the only one who noticed Lily's a top student? She even won a national design competition. So lucky. Ugh, Simon just had to snatch up the talented sisters. Is there any chance for me? I want to hang out with pretty sis too. Can you spare one? I can sleep under the bed. Hey, you upstairs, better not shut your eyes when you sleep, the actor might come for you. Hilarious, in less than 3 minutes, the wife-loving pup will have something to say to you all. Next moment. Lily is my honey, look at my ID, y'all missed the boat, go find a good pillow to dream on. Suddenly, the comments doubled. Some onlookers, just to see if Ryan would appear in 3 minutes, intentionally poked fun. In the end, the actor's shipper circle got themselves a celebrity. They nicknamed him Ryan. Ryan's killing it online and even picked up some fans. On Christmas, a coworker confessed to me at a restaurant, and someone recorded it and sent the video to him. Ryan rushed back that day. After waking up from a hangover, I found someone leaning by my bed, scaring the sleepiness right out of me. Ryan, unshaven and looking upset, stared at me. Lily, you went out to eat with another man behind my back. How could you do this to me? I've even got Aunt watching over you. Do you think I don't exist? Turns out he and Shirley made a deal behind my back. That explains why Shirley seemed so interested in my love life. But hey, I just made the mistake every man in the world makes. I curled his finger, playfully putting on a voice. Ryan, I'm dizzy. Don't think acting cute will get you out of this. Ryan. Fine, I'll make you some hangover tea. He begrudgingly got up. After a while, Ryan brought the tea over, barely containing his anger. The hot tea helped. Yesterday was a coworker dinner, how could I eat alone with him? The video was totally misleading. Did you turn him down? Of course, I told him I have a boyfriend, and everyone online knows it. Ryan's lips curled up, finally content. That's better. Isn't leaving school all sudden a problem? Nothing's more important than my honey. He smiled sweetly and urged me to get up for breakfast. Went to grab yogurt, opened the fridge, and bam, full of fresh flowers, sparkling with dew. A total scripted TV move. Ryan, when did you buy these? I turned around, seeing him on one knee with a dazzling ring. Lily, I'll give you all the security you need. Anything you want. Let me give you a home. Will you marry me? He looked at me, nervous. Who's really insecure, rushing into a proposal like this? Yes. I said, my eyes tearing up as he carefully slipped the ring on my finger. That night, Ryan posted on Facebook and tagged Simon. I got myself a honey. Simon, grumpy from his honey wanting a divorce, ignored him. Ryan, thinking Simon didn't see, sent him a message on Instagram and got a red exclamation mark. Epilogue. Shirley's kid Zoe is 3 now, super cute, and always wants hugs from Ryan. He can't get enough of her. Simon comes home, grabs his kid back, unhappy. What are you looking at? Don't you have your own kid? Ryan gritted his teeth, looking at me longingly. Honey, when can we have a little one too? Ryan's mom gave him a flick on the head. You need to work on it yourself, duh. I'm trying. Ryan sulked, holding his head. Honey, say something. Ryan's mom rolled her eyes, tired of dealing with him. After dinner, and before leaving the old house, Simon dragged Ryan to the study, probably handing him some tips on baby making. Ryan walked out, face dark, carrying a box. When I tried to peek, he wouldn't let me. Back home, while he was in the shower, I sneaked a peek. The box was full of stuff with Chinese labels. Translated, it means something like boost your energy and vitality. Simon, the drama king, is such a sly guy. Just as I was closing the box, Ryan hugged me from behind. Honey, do you think I need these too? No, I didn't mean that. Then prove it tonight.